Hi guys, this is Miss Leslie from the Paul Sawyer Public Library. Thanks so much for joining me today. And this week's craft from our Valentine's Day / winter craft kit are paper plate yarn wrapped hearts. So in your big kit, you should have found a Ziploc bag with a red paper plate with a heart cut out of it with the holes already punched and a couple of colors of yarn. I've got red and white. But just know that if you have different colors of yarn at home and you want to use those, feel free to do that. Because as you can see from this one, I used a variety of colors. So don't feel like you just have to use these two. You don't even have to use these two. You can use whatever color you want. So I'm going to show you how to make your yarn wrapped heart. So in your kit, you have red yarn and you have white yarn. And you have a paper plate like mine that already has the heart cut out and the holes punched. But, you know, you could really do any shape or any type of paper plate that you wanted. Like if you wanted to do a St. Patrick's Day plate, you could cut out a shamrock at St. Patrick's Day on a green paper plate. So you can do this in many different ways. But since it's Valentine's Day, we're going to do a heart-shaped one. So I've got that already done for you. So in your kit, you have your red yarn. So that is what I'm going to start with. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find one end of my yarn. And if you need to cut off some of your yarn, that's fine too. And I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to tape one end of my yarn to the back of my paper plate, just to kind of stabilize it a little bit and to provide me a foundation. So I'm going to tape that to the back of my paper plate. Then I'm going to find the other end of my yarn. And one of the things with the yarn, if you have trouble pulling the yarn through the holes, if you have a plastic needle or your mom or dad or your adult has a plastic needle, you can thread that needle and you can use that to thread the holes. But this yarn's pretty easy to handle. But if you don't have a plastic needle and you're still having trouble with it, one of the tricks that you can do is you can take a piece of tape, like this Scotch tape, and you can wrap it around the tip of the yarn. And this will also keep the yarn from fraying and getting all ugh. So if you do that, wrap the tip of the yarn, and that'll keep it from fraying, but it'll also kind of provide you with a little pointy edge, like the edge of a needle, and it makes it easier to hold. So what we're going to do is we're going to start threading through the holes, and you can start anywhere you want, and it's going to be just as easy as that. We'll pull that through, and you can zigzag. You can go all the way around first and then start zigzagging however you want to do it. I kind of like to do different designs, so I kind of go all over the place when I'm threading. And once you fill this up, even if you have a bunch of yarn left, that's okay. You can continue threading it through and go through each of the holes again. You don't have to go through just the holes once. You can go through them multiple times. It does not matter. Or if you get all the way through and you've only done them once and you have a lot of yarn left over, just cut off the excess and tape the back and tape the end of the yarn. Tape a little piece of the end to the back and you're done. You can do however you want. And I've also put white yarn in there too. You can go back over it with white yarn. You can do multiple colors, whatever you have available to you. If you want to do one, you can pick the white, you can pick the red, or if you want to go over it with white and red, or if you have extra yarn at home, go over it with another color. So I'm just going to kind of go in and out, in and out, in and out. And that little piece of tape on the end kind of helps me hold on to it. And it keeps the yarn, because sometimes after you handle yarn for a while like that, it kind of gets frayed at the end and gets all torn up. So that tape kind of helps with that. So basically, I'm just going in and out, threading it across. And like I said, you can go all the way around the heart once with your thread. You can do zigzags. You can do whatever you want. I kind of like the zigzag pattern because it gives it a little bit more body, so to speak, but that is completely up to you. And this is something that once you get finished, if you wanted to, you could put a magnet on the back of it and you could hang it on your fridge. If you wanted to punch another hole at the top up here, you could put yarn through it and you could hang it. You could do smaller ones with like dessert plates. You could do a lot of different things. And like I said, you can do different seasonal ones. You can do flowers. You can do birds. You can do all kinds of different things. Because it's basically just cutting that pattern out of the paper plate and poking holes with a hole punch. And I went ahead and did the hard part for you by poking all the holes or punching all the holes. Because sometimes that takes the longest and cutting it out. All right, I'm just going to kind of continue threading it through. I'll do a couple more, and then I'll show you the finished product. Because I want to make sure I fill up all the holes at least. But like I said, if you have extra yarn at the end, feel free to go back around a couple more times. If you want to cut off and leave an end piece so you can tape it to the back and start with another color. Or if you're finished with and just want to use one color, that is okay too. That is completely up to you. And I am almost finished with my red, but I want to leave just enough of that red at the end so I can tape it on the back so my yarn doesn't come out. So actually, I've gone through several of the holes a couple of times, and that is completely okay. All right, so now I'm going to cut that tape piece off, and I'm going to leave just enough to tape my yarn to the back. And that is how you create a paper plate yarn wrapped heart. So if you wanted to, with that white yarn that's in your bag, you could go back through and do this all over again. Or you could leave it just with one color, whatever you decide. Or if you have other colors at home and you want to do a rainbow colored heart, you could do that. You can do whatever you want with any color you want inside this rainbow heart. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's craft. Happy Valentine's Day and happy crafting. Thanks so much and have a great day.